St Kilda, of course, winning last week. Bounce and a good one to Everitt. Beaten by Burton at the base of the pack. Harvey, the hand pass. Still inside the centre square. Keogh to Burke, off his step down towards half forward. Wakelin gets across and does it well. Shane Wakelin. Darrell not playing this afternoon. He's right on the 50. Loewe dropping back to the square to contest this high ball in from the side. Everitt, only moments ago, jumped at the centre bounce, so he's stormed down the ground. He's marked 5 metres out.
This is a great piece of play. This is what's really going to test the Dockers here, that Everitt can get down there and join Loewe. They're going to have enough trouble with just one of them, but both there.
First goal of the game.
Well, Dennis, I'd venture to say already Peter Everitt has done more than he did 3 weeks ago, and the game's been going 40 seconds.
Oh, nice grab.
I'm sure the coaching staff would agree with me.
He'll certainly want to make amends for that performance, but just some of the key matchups in the middle of the ground. Jayson Norris has Robert Harvey. Shaun McManus has Nathan Burke, and on the wing, Nicky Winmar started there with Gavin Mitchell, his direct opponent.
Bounce in the middle by umpire Allen. Everitt, prominent early. Up against Big Spider. Everitt got a glove to the ball. Down to Keogh. Everitt in for another touch. Gets the hand pass away. Through Winmar it goes. Trouble for Young. He gave it up to McManus. He fires the hand pass out. Mitchell leaves it. And Callaghan hits it very hard. On to Chisholm. Open running goal. Gets it. Well, he scored nearly as early as he did in the game last week. But this time it's the second goal of the game.
Well, he has made the move into the forward line so very well. He was the catalyst down at Geelong with 4 second-half goals, and then started the Dockers the right way last week, and here he is again. It's just that exceptional speed that Scott Chisholm have, and certainly Peckett will have his hands filled with that particular player there.
It's a goal apiece then. Everitt and Burton across the circle. Won by Burton. Norris, quick kick out of the middle. Chopped off by Peckett. Sends the Saints down towards their half-forward line. Jones from behind, fisting away. Down in front, an opportunity for the Saints. This is Smith, pulls it back towards full forward. How will it run? Wide of the marker. Riley gets back. Loewe put his body in. Everitt again. Flicks it across towards Loewe. Down goes O'Reilly, well played. McManus tipped around the head. Play goes on. This is Smith about 45 metres out. Kicks towards the kick-off line. Good mark. Delaney deep in his own defensive area. Now Burton, who stayed out of the 50. So this is the trade-off, but Wakelin beat him. Wakelin closing on goal 35 metres out. Not a particularly good kick, but Loewe right on the behind line has taken the mark. Tied up by O'Reilly. And he will get a very sharp angle, but of course he can't run around.
Very well called, Dennis, in that Everitt will continually push down into that goal square to put pressure on the Dockers' defence. Burton staying back. Trade-off there, but Wakelin on that occasion was able to win the ball at ground level.
Everitt with his hands on his knees inside the 50. He should be going to Atlanta the way he's sprinting at the moment. Here's Loewe meantime. Watch him move to his right. Opens up the goal. Kicks. Right on the goal umpire. Behind.
The Saints have really started with the momentum, and it's generated just at the moment around the centre bounce area, where Everitt really is doing extremely well and then being aggressive moving forward.
And Everitt now covering Burton for the kick in. Kick going in that direction from Clement. Everitt punches. He's doing everything. Big Peter Everitt. Down to Burke. The hand pass fired out wide. Smith's been prominent early. Centering kick not great for the forwards. Tap forward by Wakelin. Here's Everitt again to Harvey. 30 metres out. Slides the hand pass across. Goal to Aussie Jones.
Saints by 7 points. Get the stopwatch out if Saints go forward here. No. Fremantle work it forward. Will Everitt sprint back? Burke, the hand pass out towards the half-back flank area. Socket off the ground by Harvey, and that will do. Across the line it goes.
Well, it's worth recounting. Everitt, a mark, 4 possessions and a goal already.
Having a big influence. Here's Nicky Winmar alongside Gavin Mitchell. Throw in the sunshine. Not cloudy at the moment. Well done, the hand pass from Mitchell. Kicked around the outer side by Norrish. Pumped towards the line by Shanahan. Good defence. And the throw in just inside the attacking 50 now for the Dockers. Scott Waters starting on the bench. And some last-minute running repairs.
An inclusion this week after a hamstring injury, so it mightn't be quite right. Well, I've got St Kilda, the visitors, as favourite, and Fremantle slightly odds against. From the boundary throw in, Bardsley. Hand pass back to Nicky Winmar. Almost back in the back pocket. And good mark taken at half forward by Muir for the Dockers. Kick by David Muir inside the 50. Hunter gets to the back. Winmar. Back home in Perth, Nicky Winmar. Across the ground, all St Kilda here. Good mark taken by Young. Fires over the hand pass to Jones. Half-back flank. He kicked the last goal. The kick by Jones to half forward. Wakelin with Jones. And the ball close to out of bounds. It eventually went out of bounds. We've got to be careful here with our Smiths, Jones, and so on, because we've got multiples in this game. It's a St Kilda free kick here. Wakelin wanted to take it quickly. The crowd are getting excited about what's going on up the field, but this ball's got to come back.
The umpires at cross purposes here.
And umpire Greg Scroop telling umpire Brett Allen, I'm in charge here, give us the ball back, and it's to be a free kick to Smith, not Wakelin.
Umpire Allen setting the mark down about 25 metres out from goal. Now Burke, more central, about 55 metres out. Where's Loewe? Nowhere to be seen at the moment. The short one comes to Winmar. Winmar still 55 metres from goal. Saints by 7 points. Winmar into space, Loewe on the lead, tries to reach over the top. McManus, plenty of courage, went back on him. Smith, the hand pass forward. Kickett's over the ball now. They're going in solidly, about 35 metres out from their attacking goal, the Saints.
Slow to get up behind the play there, McManus. He really copped the brunt of Big Stewie coming out.
Set the tone for that exchange. The Dockers under real pressure. Bounce. Burton pumps it backwards. Smothered off the boot. O'Reilly's boot. It spills goalward. Taken by Keogh. 25 metres out. He's missed. Good pressure applied by Jones, who copped, I think, the follow-through there. And he's hobbling away, Jones. There's Keogh. It's Clement up ahead, avoiding the goal umpire. And Jones, meantime, didn't avoid the kick.
James Clement to kick in. He came in just for the last, this is his 4th game, and in the previous 3 games, since he's been there, they've made a good account of themselves, the Dockers. Keogh marks, the ball's knocked out of his arms, and that's a 50-metre penalty, which makes it a certain goal to Keogh.
Well, gee, that's disappointing. Delaney, I think it is, the player that interferes with it. Good work from Keogh, intercepts the short kick, the hesitation to kick off, taken there. Watch Delaney there, just a bang like that. That's really undisciplined play, and Jared Neesham, I'm sure, will call him off to have a talk to him.
Anthony Jones of the Dockers is being helped off by a couple of trainers. Not a great start. Keogh gets the goal after the 50-metre. Burton goes up against Wakelin. Comes to Traianidis. Burton a bit of a fumble. Muir did well, but intercepted by Winmar. Finds Harvey. He weaves through the pack again. Steers it to Loewe. And when you give him that sort of a chance.
Very high kick down towards half forward. Man's in front. Tailor-made for Shanahan. Got a fist on it. Muir hit the pack hard. Well done by Rowe. Still it's Rowe. He's got some problems. Waterhouse. Runners outside. Waterhouse wants to go back. And the best policy pays the price. Smothered brilliantly off the boot by Young. Diving in Daniels. Great hand pass. Sends Harvey away towards half forward Wakelin. He's taken this one 60 metres out.
He has Loewe on the forward line. It's in that direction. He gets rid of O'Reilly, and Stewie Loewe is looking awesome. And play by Waterhouse down towards the half-forward line. I'm sure that the coach has another house in mind when he describes that. Stewie Loewe's kicked just 2 behinds. He's taken 3 marks. Will he get his first goal? Yes.
Train's going, so Dockers are playing 1 man short.
Mitchell tried to take on his opponent Daniels and came unstuck. Anthony Jones back on the ground for the Dockers. Nathan Burke wide to the fellow co-skipper. And I think he marked that out of bounds, but he's allowed to get away with it. Everitt marks and goal.
Parker's kick to a vacant square. Well, vacant as far as the Dockers are concerned. And Young gets back with company of Kickett. Goes towards the outer side. Juggled inside the boundary. Keogh's marked the stand. He finds Kickett.
Well, this ball is whizzing around like on a pinball machine. But St Kilda still haven't scored. Not even a point in this quarter. Kicked by Kickett to centre-half forward. Stewie Loewe marks 52 metres from goal. We know he's improved his kicking. This would test him. So he goes for the pass. Chance. Traianidis. Only 15 metres from goal.
A good decision there by Stewart Loewe. When he turned quickly and looked up towards the goal square, all there was Luke Beveridge and his direct opponent, so he needed to go short, tossed it up, and Traianidis just floating in there. Really can read the ball in flight very, very well, this young man.
It's his first touch. Been benched, won a reprieve, and should kick a goal from virtually point-blank range. Margin back to 16 points.
Chisholm back towards midfield. Well, it pitches between two Dockers. Not the spot they needed. Kickett again, defending well to Young. The short one towards the middle, Traianidis. A runner on the grandstand side, that's Bardsley. Metres in the clear, Bardsley. Kicks to half forward. Everitt slipping away from Burton. He's got it 60 metres out. Everitt. 2 goals to his credit. His side up by 15 points. Loewe offers the lead. Now he drops back. Everitt giving the impression he's going to go for distance. Well, it's a centering kick. Wakeland.
Beautiful.
That was a perfect little sit, wasn't it? It's one or the other there. That was a legitimate lead by Wakeland, and Everitt was going for him. Loewe comes in, but Wakeland with eyes on the ball all the way. Great jump.
I think in that pack, the best chance for the Dockers was Stewie Loewe. Not often he gets out marked, but Wakeland did it. Both leading to the same spot as it turned out. Now Wakeland, the only Wakeland playing this afternoon. Shaun from about 25 metres out. This to extend the lead to 21 points. Important kick. Well, he's needed all the goal, but I think it's good.
On off the ball. Coghlan having a bit of a stand up toe-to-toe with Jones, with Hunter.
Hunter, he's been given the job there, so Els has made that move.
Started the second half. Mitchell over the ball. Knocked forward by Keogh, ran into a dead end, socket off the ground in the wrong direction by Delaney. Everitt run down from behind. Delaney back into the fray. Plenty of Dockers there, peeling off McManus. He'll get this ball. He can take it and go. McManus around the outer side, could have run a little further, but spotted Burton up ahead. The two ruckmen took off in separate directions there. Burton all the long time, nothing doing. Burke got it across to Young, dragged down, fed it back. This is Jones. A little look-away hand pass. Bardsley getting free again. Harvey, the story of certainly the first quarter, to Brown. Just gets away from Kickett. Good-looking kick inside the 50. Low down, Loewe missed it. Coming through is Smith. Stood up in the tackle. Back to Beveridge. Right on the 50. Wanting it long is Daniels. Daniels and Loewe. They hook arms, but Daniels has taken the mark. Daniels about 20 metres out on a slight angle.
I wonder whether Stan's happy with the outcome of this one here. Whether Stewart Loewe or Jayson Daniels, he would wish to be having the shot at goal. So Jayson Daniels really has worked at his kicking. It doesn't strike you as one of the strong points of his game.
We wait. That's okay. Good finish. Well done, Jayson.
That's an excellent finish, and rightfully so. He should be proud that he's worked extremely hard throughout this game, Jayson Daniels. So Stan Els has made the move with Kingsley Hunter, the full forward for the Dockers, being the most dangerous player towards the end of the first half, and Glenn Coghlan has come on to replace Robert Neal as the full back. And St Kilda come out and bounce out with the first goal of the second half, which puts them in good stead now to be able to build a good lead.
Back to 12 points, the difference. In the centre circle, Robert Harvey gets the tough ball and breaks the tackle of Scotty Waters. His left foot kick is wide. Joel Smith can't take the mark. Parker cornering him on the boundary line for Beveridge, and the ball has gone out of bounds and we'll have a throw in. Coughlin, Hunter, about 150 metres off the ball. Shoulder to shoulder and plenty of body work going on. The ball hasn't even gone down that half of the ground in this half. Burton over the top, close to the line, and it's out of bounds. Harvey can't get there to get another possession. He's had the merest of 26, 18 kicks, 8 handballs. And he leads the disposals in the competition, averaging 28 a game, and he's well on target to improve his average. Saints get inside the 50. Chisholm socket back into the pack. Brown the hand pass, taken by Kickett. He turns back into trouble maybe, but he gets it to Chisholm. Oh, good kick by Chisholm. Clement takes the mark at half-back. Kick by Clement up towards half-forward. Parker, first game of Parker. It's socket away from him by Elliott. Ball stays in, well done by Jones. Anthony Jones, who was injured early, came back, did well that time. Clement following up. Jones had his back foot, turned round just in time. Callaghan to the 50. Man taken out of it by Shanahan. Play on. It's there for the Dockers. Shane Parker, but it's a St Kilda free kick. Advantage. It goes to Everitt.
Kicks around the outer side. Brown gathers the bouncing ball. Kickett's in pursuit. Brown down towards half-court. Beautiful finish. Beveridge didn't have to break stride. Hard against the boundary line. Plays on. Little chip inside the 50. Winmar's in front. Knocked away by Chisholm. How's that for excitement? It's out of bounds. It'll be thrown in.
I think sometimes he's turned the wrong way. He's turned into trouble, but he's pretty good at extricating himself, the Prince.
Yes. Mind you, he'll have his hands full against one of the very best of the Saints of all time. Knocked down in front, close to the line. Well done by Harding on his knees, then he gave it away. Beveridge somehow got through. The hand pass across to the man we were speaking of, and he finishes beautifully.
Burton wins in the middle. And that ball's going nowhere. So this quarter hasn't started the way the second quarter finished. And Fremantle were all over St Kilda at the end of the first half, but the Saints have managed the first 2 goals of this second half. These are the umpires, Brett Allen, Greg Scroop and Darren McCauley. Burton beats Everitt, helped up. It comes to Callaghan. He did very well. Clement, happy to beat his man. Eventually he fires out the hand pass to McManus, steers it low. Hunter, at full stretch, couldn't quite take the mark. Coughlin. And his hand pass out of bounds, and we'll have a throw in. It's interesting, isn't it, that opponents can be shoulder to shoulder, man on man. There's body work. As soon as the ball comes, they're nowhere near each other.
Exactly. One of the game's ironies. Nicely gathered on the outer side there and kicked around the outer wing by Elliott. Hitting the pack very hard was Young, or was it Daniels? Daniels controlled it. One of a couple of redheads running towards it. Headed back by Kickett. Involuntary action. He's over the ball. In goes Brown. Kickett works him over. Holds the ball up. And the bounce just inside the boundary line.
That was a quick on, like Euro 96.
9-3, 5-9. Harvey grabbing some air there. Burton straight to Burke. Got out of trouble brilliantly. No space in which to operate. Kicks inside the 50. O'Reilly almost. The hand pass over the top from Harding. Releases Jones. Good shepherd from Chisholm. Across the goalpost comes the kick. Mitchell pursued by Winmar. Got out of it. Well played. O'Reilly confronted by Winmar. Still he goes. Kept his head brilliantly. What a season he's having. Found Clement. Clement towards the wing and Waters. Waters, no. That was ambitious on the way down. Harvey chopped it off. McManus was free, but it needed a good hand pass. It had to be spot on. It was well short of that. Nicely done by Kickett. Marks the low kick, or the high low kick. Back towards the wing. McManus almost to mark Jones. Nicely done. Feeds it wide. This is Burke inside the centre square. Stabs it down towards the 50. Smith has got it now. Winmar indicates Kickett long. 57-39. Saints on top. Very important game for them this afternoon as they try and climb back into the top 8. Smith launches one. That's a magnificent kick. They'll contest a couple of metres out. And O'Reilly again, superb. He was worked under the ball by Loewe. Not many players recover from that. And somehow he got back into the contest and helped it across the line.
Chisholm kicks in. What a magnificent kick. That's 70 metres out from goal already. McManus. First thought for the Dockers every time was to go back the other way. Jones to the centre of the ground. Callaghan is... Oh, David and Goliath, and little David had a victory. Callaghan did very well against Everitt. Off the ground, Beveridge to himself. Caught in a good tackle by Jones. It's high, and he gets the free kick, Beveridge.
So he gets a lot of those during the year, Luke Beveridge, doesn't he? A lot of free kicks his way.
The front edge of the centre square. The Saints 58, the Dockers 39. Too much shy about that. Winmar marks on the 50.
With all respect, what Luke Beveridge does, he has the talent to be able to sell it to the umpire. He'll keep throwing the melon back.
Bad decision. I mean, the umpire was only 10 metres away.
Should be able to sell ice cream to the Eskimos too, if he can do that. Here's Nicky Winmar, who's kicked a goal in this quarter. Long way out. Oh, what a kick! A fantastic kick by Nicky Winmar.
10-4, 5-9, bounce in the middle, one down by Burton, hacked back in there by Bardsley, taken by Everitt, floats one well inside the 50, Harding was up, missed it, nicely done, Beveridge got it from Wakeland, may have been touched, Winmar over the top, obviously wasn't touched, he's paid the mark. Now, just watching that build up to the last goal, Winmar's second of the term, obviously Chisholm thinks he's playing on Grandma and not Winmar because he was about 20 metres off him in no man's land, just standing there, daring the ball to go to Winmar. Well, Winmar will make you pay. His third goal of the term, and he's got it.
Well, Nicky Winmar finished the first half on the bench. He had a bit of a breather, and he's come out burning.
And the thing about it is now he's in a position where he can just display his skills. They're in the forward line. Yeah, he gets off Chisholm just far too easily. Scotty Chisholm is a real ball watcher. He's prepared to chase that, but as is most of the Fremantle side, they really don't necessarily always have that ability to be able to turn around. Where's my man? And cut off that supply. Winmar really exploiting that weakness at the moment.
And Chisholm's been switched off him. Burke out of the centre circle. The centre half forward, 2 against 2. Harding is there. Trapped it well for Parker, who gave it straight to Harvey. Robert Harvey balks the hand pass, left footer. Winmar again. Offline and through for a score off Robert Harvey. So he's had a heap of the football today, Robert Harvey, but that's his first point. He's had 20 kicks and 8 handballs.
Right on average. Averaging 28 disposals for the year. He's there now.
Chisholm directly up the middle, intended for Burton, up he goes, good mark in front of Everitt. Wants to go on by hand and does, out to Parker. Parker's away. This will be interesting. The defence backing off him again. The chase has to come from behind. Burke chases him down about 70 metres out. It goes to Hunter. Well, I really doubt the wisdom of this. I know it is the philosophy around the league to play the Dockers that way, but now and again I think players have got to come to the ball carrier because Fremantle always give you a chance with bad disposal on occasions. Still, Hunter's got the ball and he will kick from about 45 metres out. Having said all of that, St Kilda in front and going well. Hunter, that's a good effort from there, just missed.
Now up to 16 goals, 20 for the season. 31-point lead for the Saints. And the way the Dockers finished the second quarter, the force was with them. Plenty of movement off the ball. Kickett to Jack Daniels in between back pocket and half back. Still at half back is Bardsley. Now a bit of distance. Rowe with the sit. Oh, he missed the ball. Missed Brown. Kick by Brown. Bounces for Wakeland. Unmarked is Joel Smith inside. Come down from behind, but dodges the tackle. Kick by Smith in the direction of Loewe. O'Reilly punches it. Still there. Nicky's kick. 3. Just stumbled to the ground. Peter Everitt. Oh, Delaney put in a very half-hearted effort, and Everitt's kicked the goal.
I suppose not every coach likes to hear this, but the Dockers appear to do their best work after dark. So a throw in alongside the behind post. They're down by 6 points at half-time, and this rain is starting to tumble down now. Joe! Oh, yeah. Ball. The Saints needed that one. Steadier.
Well, you can see on the screen there 45 seconds to go, and to Dennis, you were absolutely right there that they needed this one. Was very important. Burton does the right thing, trying to get towards the boundary, but perhaps rather than just popping the fist up there and meeting the ball.
Away we go. One down by Burton. He's done pretty well at those centre bounces. Sliding in his Burke, gets to his feet, kicks it wide. And Brown, meters in the clear. One wonders how that can happen. Brown, forward of the wing, pokes it down inside the 50. There'll be plenty of crumbing required here. Socket off the ground by Beveridge. It's bending back, not quite enough. Very close though, behind. And generally, that's been the pattern of the game. We've seen St Kilda start every quarter looking the better side against these Dockers.
Chisholm might nearly go for goal from here. Back pocket to half-back flank. Durkay looked to be on Harvey there. McManus goes off the ground. Back to centre wing. Waterhouse using good body work. Mitchell kept it going forward. Daniels spun around in the tackle, holding the ball. And ever since Dennis noticed that there are only 3 free kicks for the game, for Fremantle, they're already up to 8.
We'll have to start whinging for the Saints.
Waterhouse to the 50. Those gloves worked all right. And the mark dragged down by Bardsley. What's your experience, Wheels? Does the wind count when it's this wet?
No, this one's really just got to be able to work hard at the ball. Try not to finesse the thing too much, but be able to put there and ensure that numbers are around every contest.
Points on the board are handy, and the Saints lead by 14. Harvey over centre wing. Shanahan gets it going the Saints way. Long sleeves now for the Prince. Up towards centre half forward. Hunter is there. Whoa, backing into the pack was Mitchell, and he cleared a pass for Callahan. The ball comes wide for Durkay, who had a terrific third quarter. Gary Durkay, cornered, hoisted high. Look out! Oh, you're joking! That could be a game buster.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've just seen one of the classiest goals of all time. And what makes it great here, that Robbie Harvey does the right thing and just contains him on the boundary line. But there's that little sidestep and then him right in there ensures that he gives the ball enough air so that it can come back. And sensational goal, Gary Durkay.
I think he enjoyed it only marginally more than Drew. It's back in the middle, bumped out of there by Everitt. Held without it, Muir. In goes Burton, the 2 big men. They finesse. Burke slides it down towards half forward. Is the Prince again. Chisholm comes away, gets it over the top. This is Clement, forward of half back. Kicks down towards half forward. Man wrestles with Shanahan. Knocked in front. Waterhouse heads for the line. Callahan a strong tackle on an opponent down there. Still they battle after it. And will have a ball up. Elliott claimed very strongly. Callahan, a feisty little customer, can lay a strong tackle. Elliott thought he was through. Thrown up. Shanahan works his way in front. Comes down behind. Burke across the line. Well played. And a throw in. 13-6 to 11-10. So we're back to 8 points. Everitt and Burton, as they've done all day. Everitt very keen on front spot. Knocks it down. Burke hurriedly onto the boot, still picking up possessions towards the wing. Hunter, or rather Parker, was held, and he'll get the free. So Parker right on the wing for the Dockers.
Free's evening up. Now 12 to 9. Kick by Parker, short of the 50. Man helps the ball on. The runners are there for the Dockers, but it just skips away from Waterhouse and goes out of bounds. The throw in, about the same spot where earlier in the game Stewie Loewe took a mark a metre outside the boundary line and set up a goal for St Kilda. This time, no doubt, out of bounds. A throw in. The Dockers coming at St Kilda. They trail by just 8 points, and they're in attack. Everitt and Mann in ruck. It gets back to the 50. All Fremantle. Waters. Oh, Delaney threw it. Oh, he gets a high tackle. Well, boy, are they evening them up. They must have looked at the count.
And Burke seemed to be held by the arm with that boundary throw-in. Should have got a free for the Saints. So Delaney about 55 metres out. 84 to 76. And this crowd making a lot of noise. Probably helps if they're trying to find each other. They'll contest about 15 metres out. Keogh paddles it across the goal face. Loewe didn't have the ball. Rowe kept it in. Wishes he didn't. Still he goes. It's out of bounds now. And a boundary throw in. Wow, how about this? They've been driven out of the front seats by the rain, which is coming in on the wind. And on the broadcast side of the ground, everyone has taken shelter deep in the bowels of the grandstand. Rowe goes down. No free kick. Kickett burrows in. Claimed by Mitchell. And a ball up. Well, the players deserve full credit. It's been an entertaining game early. Now it's a tough game. 84 to 76. There's the time remaining. Punched out of there by Everitt. Wide towards the boundary, and Keogh, he couldn't control it. Loewe, meantime there's a whistle. The ball will come back, all the way back to Everitt.
Well, Peter Everitt opened the game in magnificent fashion, and he's been terrific all day. 18 disposals, he's taken 6 marks, and kicked 3 goals. His first visit here this season, he's coming off the ground with blood. Sent off by umpire Allen. I had to get on a step ladder to tell him, and then he said, "Oh, okay." The 2 number 10s, umpire Allen and Peter Everitt. One's about 6'9", one's about my height. Isn't very much. Kicked by Everitt, short of centre wing. Dive at full stretch. I think it was Beveridge. We're guessing a bit here. Keogh. There's Beveridge again. Left footer along the ground. Wakeland flips up the hand pass to Daniels. His kick along the ground of the 50, and the Prince, he just saw it out. Lucky he did, because his opponent got behind him. A throw in near the 50.
Wakeland and Burton. So Everitt hanging a kick off this action. Burton wins it decisively. Down to Jones. Not much on offer. Kicks back for the middle. Going back and taking a very good mark is Aussie Jones. Anthony Jones to Aussie. He's alongside the centre circle. In the gloom at Subiaco. Jones then towards the 50 and low. Clement stood his ground well. Winmar didn't have the ball. Clement heads for the boundary line. It's out of bounds and a throw in. 13-6, 11-10. Bear in mind they got out to well over 30 points in front, St Kilda, in that third term. 37 was it, Drew?
Yep.
Thanks. Socket away by Mitchell. Still Mitchell in front of Jones. Still Mitchell. Kept it going. Man, nicely done. Good evasion. Kicks inside the 50. Here comes Hunter. Wants to turn on the ball. Neal played it well. Still Neal tried to slap it out. Still Neal this time. Well done. They work it out nicely. Young got it from Elliott. Kicks towards the outer side. That was a big play in the context of this game. Harvey hugs the boundary line. Brown takes it across. A 50-50 ball. Terrifically well played by Neal on a couple of occasions. He was scrapping in there.
Well, it was made for him. He was kneeling. Boundary throw in. Maybe Spider beat Everitt. Comes down. And Harding along the boundary line. Out of bounds. The rain is, well, stopped now. Maybe down to a spray. It was a torrent a while ago. But the sandy ground will soak up the moisture, but it'll be a slippery surface. 14 minutes remaining, the game up for grabs. Keogh. Nathan Burke. Durkee got back there. He's doing very well. Started the game on interchange. And he's run down from behind, took a few too many steps. And the ball has gone to the other A. Jones, Aussie Jones. Short pass, just over the head of McManus. Harvey is there. A sprint for the ball. Clement leads the race over Harvey. Well, Clement goes off the ground. Gain no distance. Winmar gets it to Harvey. Slippery as a piece of soap. He slips Clement's tackle. Up to the 50 on the bounce. Comes off Smith. Durkee. Didn't find the boundary line. That's just rolled over. Yes, out of bounds, throw in.
It's tough and hard here now, with both sides really committed towards the win. Being aggressive at the ball is the key to it now. You really need to ensure that your body's behind it, because it's not going to bounce away from you. All it's going to do is skip and spin towards you.
Knocked down by Everitt. In front, Smith. Took it across the line, I thought. Obviously not all across the line. Waters has got it. Meantime, there's a free kick, and it's going the Dockers' way, is it? No, it's going to St.Kilda against Durkee, holding on, I would assume.
Trying to pick on that boundary umpire again, do you?
It looked out, didn't it? Well, he's a lot closer than we are, as they say, and probably he can see the ball. Loewe's up. Paddle towards the line, that's out. So boundary throw in.
Be a lot of paddling here.
That says it all. The dead of winter. Burton in front, knocks it down. O'Reilly tries to slap it to the boundary, sock it away by McManus. Dangerous in that area. Out of bounds now.
Well, for a Melbourneite, it doesn't feel like the dead of winter to me. At least it's not cold. It feels like a tropical monsoon, really.
Yeah.
We've had just one goal in this last quarter. It was the goal of the match by Gary Durkee. St Kilda in attack. Boundary throw in. The Prince got the ball out, but it was snaffled by Tony Brown, who kicked it out of bounds on the full. And so the margin is still 8 points in this last quarter. Fremantle have kicked one goal, and St Kilda have kicked one behind. The one goal was worth about 18 points, though.
Yeah, something special. Jones out of the back pocket towards half-back. Burton camped in front. Everitt thumps it down. Jones couldn't control it. Mitchell, good evasion once more in a tight situation to Waters, who kicks to the wing. And Harvey goes back and juggles the mark. Harvey from the wing, back to half-forward. The bad news for the Dockers is the Saints are doing all the attacking. This is Wakeland. Good grab in the conditions, goes down towards full forward. They wrestle, and in from the side, tailor-made for Everitt. Tries to soccer off the ground. And across the line it goes, so close for that man and the Saints. Almost the mark.
It was the perfect push forward, wasn't it? As these two players there, O'Reilly and Loewe, wrestle, it was made for the big fella Everitt, but unable to complete it.
He sure has bounced back from his last visit to Perth. Had a great game, Peter Everitt. And here's Gavin Mitchell in the back pocket. Everitt back there, didn't attempt the mark. Marking very difficult with this soap. Waters, Clement tunnels the ball. Waters, you're in trouble, son. High tackle though, and gets the free kick. So the Dockers starting to get a few late in the game.
You have the second part of the tackle there. Too high.
Stephen O'Reilly at centre half back, bouncing on the slippery turf. Not once, but twice. Left foot kick with penetration to centre wing. Brown tapped it back over his head and found the safety of the boundary line. Even though the margin is just 9 points. Gee, it's going to seem like Mount Everest to get a couple of goals for the Dockers to win this in these conditions. And here comes the rain again.
Yes. Getting heavier. Viewer in from the side. Burke didn't know where it went. Picked up by Keogh. Always seems to have time, Keogh, from the wing, half smothered. Spills across to Callaghan, and the mark is paid. So may have deflected off a boot or a leg there. Callaghan doesn't ask questions. He kicks across the ground, intended for O'Reilly, very ambitious. And Beveridge did very well. Stood his ground to take the mark. One on the line of the centre square out towards left centre wing. 10.5 minutes to go. Set up for Loewe. Pissed it away from behind. Harvey, now here's trouble. Harvey running towards half forward. Flame, that must be holding the ball.
No doubt.
Great tackle by Rowe. I'm not sure that Harvey didn't think it was a St Kilda player.
He didn't react very quickly, did he? He was just sort of really looming up there towards Brad Rowe. But
You've
Rowe
got
is
to
strong
say,
at it.
those uniforms, front on, look very similar. Knocked towards the boundary there by Muir. Shanahan did well in a tight situation. It stays in. No, it did not. The boundary umpire had his back to that initially, and we've got a throw in.
Get off him. Poor bloke. He's had a tough day at the office. It's actually hit that umpire.
Kept his eye on it though. Well done.
Throw in centre wing. Everitt tries to finesse the ball down. Well done by Rowe. Durkay wrestling there with Aussie Jones. It comes to Nathan Burke. Kick by Burke, good distance to half forward. Oh, Mitchell from behind, what a climb. Went up in the third quarter, it came down in the fourth. Still fighting for it, Mitchell. Well done, son. Magnificent play. To half forward, Durkay. At the front of the pack, Clement. Breaks the tackle. Whoa, didn't see the tackler coming from behind. He's gone holding the ball. Well done by Stewie Loewe, who's a mile out of his station to lay the tackle.
Big Stewie, left half back, short to Bardsley. 13-7, 11-10. They're slugging it out at the present time. Bardsley down towards the wing. O'Reilly in front, missed it, waiting behind Mitchell. Initial fumble, now off his step, boots it back to half forward again. Delaney did it pretty well, shielded the ball, held without it. Sockers off the ground inside the 50. Coming up to meet it is Neal, running out of space, heads for the boundary line. And the boundary umpire played it. Gee, that's pretty tough.
Oh, no.
Well, the Saints were flogged in the game against the Eagles with those deliberate out of bounds. And this is crucial too.
Well, that's going towards their goal. Now, fair enough, we know the intention was to put it out, and I suppose technically it's right. But in these conditions, what you're saying is you demand the player keep it in.
Well, the spirit of the rule, as I understand it, Dennis, as long as the ball's moving towards your goal, you're quite legitimate in your actions there. Yeah, I agree. Robbie Neal wanted it to go out of bounds, but he did at least work it towards his goal rather than directly to the line.
Behind resulted. Winmar's got it. 11-11 plays 13-7. Less than 8.5 minutes to go, so still ample time for either side. But you get the feeling the next goal could make or break this game. If the Dockers get it, it will really be on. Waterhouse run down from behind. This is Elliott.
His kick up towards half forward, bouncing, skimming. Mitchell got there. Goes to the opposition to Aussie Jones. His hand pass into Stewie Loewe, a long way up the ground. Kick by Loewe.
Forward now.
Towards the 50, it was knocked away from Wakeman. The Prince on all fours, kicked it too far over the head of Callaghan. It's out at centre wing, Everitt. And out it goes. Great desperation by Craig Callaghan.
Man who kicked it.
He dived full length at the ball, that's right, he followed up his own kick. And you'll be doing the swimming at Atlanta, and if anybody dives that well, they'll nearly win the 100-metre sprint off the blocks.
Those conditions haven't got much in common with Atlanta.
Oh, it's wet. It's got a lot in common with swimming.
There goes the kick from Winmar, and a beauty. What a finish. And Lowe's taking the mark, and he's down. Well, he hit a player running past, I think, there. Right, hit him on the back. What should he get? He might make contact with the Prince. Oh, so Stewart Loewe is very slow to get up here. This could be crucial. What a terrific kick by Winmar.
Yeah, this is not what the Saints wanted. They've brought Stewart Loewe out to centre half forward so that he at least can work and take a mark there. But this, and he really does have a little sleep there very, very quickly.
We've got to say nothing malicious in that.
Not at all.
Chisholm didn't avoid contact, but he braced himself against the much bigger man coming directly at him. And just the connection was wrong for Stewie. He didn't see him until the last stride. The umpire wanting somebody to take the kick, and the trainer's a little incensed that they're more concerned about the safety of their man and his health.
Yes, I think that's a fair call too.
What about, not malicious, but very late?
Yeah, but I don't think he was moving it low. He just stopped in his path.
Loewe was very hard coming at the ball, taking the mark and kept coming. No, I think you should have a spell, Stewie. So this just takes the mark, natural follow through. There's Chisholm, just braces himself as Loewe's still coming.
The kick up to the forward line. Loewe still receiving treatment. It's gone over the boundary line off Harding, and we'll have a throw in. It's raining again at Subiaco Oval. It's very dark. The lights are on, and we're lucky to get a television picture out of this. 8 points the difference. St Kilda clinging on. Just over 7 minutes remaining. Mitchell's been good in the last quarter. Hurried kick out of defence. Bouncing up towards the wing. Winmar and the Saints at this stage would be happy to see the ball going out. That does stop there, though. It's 7 minutes and 4 seconds left. St Kilda leading by 8 points. And a few times the Saints have run away. They led by 37 points in the third quarter. But a couple of times the Dockers have come back, and they're certainly back at the right time to give themselves a chance of getting the points here. That will be a ball up. Where's Stewie? Is he still out there or has he gone on?
He's right back up and full forward, Drew.
Bounce just forward of the wing for the Saints. Everitt hooks it down. Clement was claimed. Callahan over the ball. Diving in there, tying it up. Shanahan. Another bounce. Same position. There's Stewie. The worse for wear. Slapped back by Everitt again. He's having an influence here at these bounces at the moment.
I think the lights are on at Subiaco Oval, but they've gone out for Stewie Loewe.
Yes. Hopefully he's okay, because he's the man that perhaps can turn this game in the dying minutes. Waters gets away, kicks to the wing. Winmar, he won't shirk it, stood his ground, upended. Overrun by Clement. In went Burke, socket off the ground by Shanahan. Slips attempt down there by Parker. Headed towards the boundary line, McManus. Look at Everitt work. Well done. Brown tracks it across the boundary. And the boundary throw in. Under 6 minutes remaining now. 5:46 and counting down.
A very low scoring last quarter, as you would imagine. And the Dockers have kicked the only goal of the quarter still. That was that magnificent effort from the boundary line by Durkay. It's at half forward for St Kilda. Callahan tries to keep it in. It's another boundary throw-in. So there have been lots of umpires involved, field and boundary, hauling it up, throwing it in. The players giving everything here. It's 11th versus 13th on the ladder. Desperation time for the Saints, because I suppose they'd still give themselves a rough chance of being in the finals if they can win here. Waters. Well done. Good hands out to McManus. A high ball. Delaney is there with Bardsley. It's still in. Harvey, well done, Robbie Harvey. Well, that's 35 possessions to the forward line in the direction of Loewe, who probably didn't see it coming. Aussie Jones bounces one, and it's home! A winner for Aussie.
Aussie Jones, 3 goals, and what a beauty, and how timely. Yes, indeed, 2 great goals, the only 2 of this final term. This man got the other one, leg surely, must get the free kick. Play on's the call, is it? No, a free kick has been paid. And Durkay will get it inside the last 5 minutes. In its way, it's a long quarter because the ball has been out of bounds so much. Durkay told to go, short. Everitt stops it and then catches it. Well done, that's what you've got to do sometimes in the wet. Everitt kicks inside the 50, spotted his man. The mark is held by Smith. And suddenly you get the feeling perhaps the Dockers have lost the appetite for the contest. Not surprising. It's been such a hard slog.
The line comes very, very quickly sometimes. The Dockers were right there with a chance. A lot of hard work around the midfield, but unable to get it up. And now just these last two pieces of play, and Joel Smith, who has been very good all day, gets his opportunity now.
Oh, starts it right. Hangs out there. So the margin, 15 points.
4 minutes, 25 seconds remaining. And the Dockers need 3 goals to win it. Doesn't seem likely. In these conditions, we've had just a goal each last quarter. Oh, the kick straight to the chest of Jones, who will take a free kick for a high tackle. And it was a disappointing kick in by Scott Chisholm. Okay. Jones too far out to score with a wet ball, but after what he did with his previous kick, who knows? Goes in short, didn't quite carry. Out of defence by Parker. Short of centre wing. Flipped out by Winmar. Fumbled by McManus. Taken by Delaney. Tony Delaney off the left. Oh, straight to Everitt, who twice in this last quarter has said, thank you very much.
Everitt about 65 metres out, goes looking for Loewe. That's good news. He's moving okay, or was. Young, dragged down by Callaghan. Socket off the ground by Hunter. And across the line it goes, so the clock is stopped again. And I think that's been a tactic of the Saints today, getting Everitt back in that corridor when they try and come back to the middle. They found him quite often, or had to adjust because of his presence.
8 marks, 20 possessions, 3 goals, Peter Everitt.
For a man that size, that's quite incredible. Parker had it knocked away by Loewe. Brown, open goal, gets it.
Well, the Saints are going to get a very hard-fought victory away from home in difficult conditions. It'll be their first ever victory over in Perth. They've never beaten the Eagles over here. So it might be a good old trip on the plane tonight. They go forward again. A long kick to the edge of the goal square. The kick coming up from Matthew Young. And it goes through for a minor score. Just to further wrap things up here. And it's a 22-point lead. 3 minutes remaining. Their next assignment is the Sydney Swans at Waverley next Saturday. Plugger versus Stewie. Won't that be something?
Excellent. Wiley. The Swans would do well not to take this side lightly as the ball comes out towards the wing. It's strange Sydney taking anybody lightly. But things have changed. A record crowd this afternoon at the SCG, and they hammered Geelong. Boundary throw in on the wing. Just over 2.5 minutes till full time. 15-9, 11-11. The margin was 8 points for a long, long time as they went kick for kick, but St Kilda eventually proving too strong. This ball's out of bounds. Another throw-in. So few goals, but a lot of throw-ins. Stopping the clock.
It'll be the Dockers' 4th loss in a row, but the last, and actually 5th in a row, and the last 4 have all been really good contests.
They've won 1 of their last 9 as Callaghan was pushed in the back, but we made the point before the game that both these sides in those losses, and St Kilda had a string of them before last week. They'd lost 6. Here's the kick to half forward. Both sides have played hard, generally, through that time. Here's Winmar, chips it across, brilliantly done. Kickett into space. Waterhouse gives chase. Kickett towards the outer side. This will probably skid out of bounds as well, and it does. Very hard to keep it in.
Dockers beaten by Essendon by a point at the MCG. Great performance. Geelong by 19 at Cardinia Park. North Melbourne in the wet. Beat them by just 16 points last week. And St Kilda are going to beat them by about 4 goals here, but it's a closer game than that. The ball bouncing up towards half forward. Mitchell's there. Leaves it for Callaghan. He slaps his way through a tackle and gains some... Oh, no, doesn't gain anything. He's kicked it out of bounds on the full. Might be a bad spot in the dugout there. Bit of protection. Nathan Burke to take the free kick. Last 2 minutes of the game. Kick by Burke. Oh, Stewie Lowe's taken a mark, so he is seeing him all right. Away to Jones. skims the ball along the turf. Oh, good hands, beautifully picked up by Brown. He gets the ball out, and it's offline.
Good control of the ball there from Tony Brown, being able to run and meet the ball, ensuring that his body was behind it, and then quick piece of mind, very quick left-hand handball to Bardsley's favoured side, but he couldn't take advantage of that chance either.
So Chisholm brings it in. Back to half-back. McManus. Oh, what a terrific mark in the conditions.
Quite incredible that they could see the ball.
Well, those lights, and you mentioned they're not very strong, not many of them, but they are having an impact lighting up this ground. That's how dark it is. They are having a pronounced influence, and that light is artificial light. You can see the players virtually casting shadows in all directions. Look at those lights. They've kicked in, and local time it's about 20 to 5, so
not much brighter than Malcolm Blight's candle, though.
There's an opportunity for Harvey. Offers step wide. Burke close to the boundary line, keeps it in. We're down to 40 seconds now as he boots back towards half forward. Ball close to the line once more. Parker slipped over and passes. Intercepted. Daniels feeds it back towards Burke.
In the last 30 seconds of the game, Wakeland fighting till the end, laying the tackle, and helped up off the ground by a teammate. Gee, this has been a good performance by the Saints. They've led at every change, but they've been challenged severely 2 or 3 times during the day. Down goes Burke. This is where he had a head guard. This one comes to Joel Smith, up short of the 50-metre line. There's the siren. St Kilda have been victorious over the Fremantle Dockers. The final margin, 23 points. We've had all weather conditions today. At different stages, the Saints led by a long way, and the Dockers would come back. The Saints' biggest lead was 37 points in the 3rd quarter, and the Dockers got back to within a kick. Durkay kicked a remarkable goal in the last quarter. Ozzie Jones replied, and the Saints went away with it at the end to win by 23 points. And the Saints have kept their slim finals hopes alive here with the 4 premiership points.
It's been a very good effort in very trying conditions since halfway through the 3rd quarter, approaching 3/4 time when the skies open and heavy rain showered across the oval. It really put on a different complex onto their game, and all players out there, I think, should be congratulated in the way in which they went about it.
Well, this will be interesting. We've got a step ladder for Dwayne Lamb. Here he is with Peter Everitt.
Well, thanks, Drew. Pete, congratulations. A good win in the end.
Yeah, you know, look at the weather now. You know, it started off well, and it was handy to have a couple of goal lead when the rain come down. I know that.
The Dockers, they give a bit of cheek, like you got out each quarter and you sort of got a bit of a gap away, but they came back at you at each quarter. And I suppose when you saw the rain, you probably would have thought you got a smile on your face.
Oh yeah, I got a smile on my face, no doubt about that. But yeah, no, they're a side that you can't let you know, let your man off 5 metres or so. You know, they're always going to come back, and to their credit, they come back, but it was good to hold out.
Mate, yourself up in the ruck work now. A couple of goals, a lot of possession today. Enjoying the work up there?
Yeah, now Lazy's out, I get a chance to go back in the ruck, and it's been good. You know, it's only going to get better when the fitness improves, but I can't wait. It's good.
Obviously, we had to win today to keep in touch with the top 8, and I suppose a big game next week with Sydney. Yeah, we're looking forward to playing Sydney. You know, obviously Plugger and Hobie and all that, but yeah, it's going to be a big game. We've got to get a win to keep in touch with the 8, but I'm pretty confident we will. Well done. Congratulations the rest of you.
Thank you.
Peter Everitt, and the rain made his hair go curly. Great win here by the Saints, who've had 7 unsuccessful visits to Perth against the Eagles. And it's their first meeting with the Dockers in Perth, and to get the points, great performance. Well done, Stewie Lowe. I'm glad to see him on his feet after that blow in the last quarter. The Saints won it 15-10, 100 to the Dockers 11-11, 77.